passionate about aviation, and some say that I'm obsessed with aviation. And I am convinced that we together can work together and to create recovery in aviation. And so today, I'm still here in the Minneapolis area, and I'm actually at a reliever airport in Minneapolis. It's Crystal Airport. It's KMIC. MIC is Crystal Airport in Crystal, Minnesota. And I'm actually in a really nice viewing area right here at the runway. If you take a look right now, you can see that I'm actually right here in a viewing area right alongside the runways here, here at Crystal Airport. It's really nice. It's actually a small controlled field that's actually a reliever airport in Minneapolis. I'm right here at the base of the tower. You can see right here above me that here's the tower right behind me. You're there right now. And it's a great field. But hey, the reason I want to do the broadcast here today from this field is this field has special significance to me because I actually, when I was younger, lived in this area. And I grew up in this area. And my father, when I was as early as 2 years old, he had a fractional ownership in a air coupe, is what it was. And he began to take us out to this airport. And we used to come out to this airport on Sundays, and we would sit and watch airplanes take off. And it really was one of the early starts of aviation for me, and has a lot of really great significance to me. And turns out that later on in my life, I started flying here. I started flying here when I was 15 years old, and ended up soloing when I was 15 and a half right here at this airport, right here at Crystal Airport. And it was in a Cessna 150 is what it was. And I was only 15 and a half years old, and it was pretty exciting. I can remember the day when I got in the airplane for the first time when I was 15 years old, and pulled on the starter, and the old prop turned over, and I tell you, that was one of those times in my life when I had a grin just from ear to ear, and that really was one of the things which really got me hooked on aviation. But Crystal Airport has been an important part of the air system in the Minneapolis area for many, many years. Actually, it was 1946 that this airport was first established. It was privately owned. And then in 1948, it was purchased by the Metropolitan Airport Commission. And right now, there's two parallel runways. There's 1432 left and right, and 624 left and right. And over here on this side over here, 6 left is actually a turf field, a grass field. So we have two approximately 3,000-foot runways out here, and one 2,000-something foot runway. The elevation of the airport is 869 feet, and this is where it all started for me. This is where flying started for me. And they've continued to enhance the airport over the years and done a lot of improvements, like they added refueling over there. There's an aircraft right behind me right now. It's parked, probably going to refuel over there. And this is just one of those little reliever airports. Last week on Friday, I broadcast from Flying Cloud Airport, and Flying Cloud Airport is another reliever airport. It was, I think, 11 miles to the west of downtown Minneapolis Airport. And this one is about 13 miles to the north of downtown Minneapolis Airport. And that airport had about 120,000, Flying Cloud had about 120,000 operations a year that they were currently running right now. And this airport here has roughly 50,000 operations per year, I think are the last numbers that I looked at. So, it's not the busiest airport, but it's a little airport that has a lot of significance. And right now the wind is coming just a little bit out of the north, and they were using runways 32 left and right earlier today. And it looks like they've shifted over to using 6 here. Looks like they've shifted over to, well, I've seen them going on both, people doing crosswind landings and things like that. So anyway, hey, listen, I like doing the broadcasts in a live situation like this because, it just makes it a little bit more interesting. There's been aircraft taking off behind me, pretty much all morning. And right now it looks a little bit slow. So when an aircraft comes, I'll shift over so that we can see the aircraft taking off. But hey, this is a live broadcast, and we're focusing on recovery in aviation. And one of the segments of aviation that's an important part of aviation is general aviation. And, we have a lot of general aviation operations that are happening here and flight training. And listen, I got to at least point out one thing too. I'm going to have you look over my shoulder here, and right behind me over here, unfortunately, there's an abandoned hangar right there, right over my shoulder right now. And that used to be called Crystal Skyways, okay? And Crystal Skyways is where I actually learned how to fly. I got my private pilot license there. And that was back in 1977, I think is what it was, when I got my private pilot license. All right. And I'm going to give a shout out to my flight instructor at that time. I think he flies for FedEx right now, and his name is Roger Zesba. Later on, I'll tag him. And I looked him up a few months back, and he's actually flying commercial. I think he's flying cargo, I think is what he was flying here during the economic downturn. So anyway, really important part of aviation is general aviation and business aviation. You know, those sectors make up literally several $billion worth of revenue that contribute to our economy every year, and so they are a very important part of our segment of aviation. And so I wanted to shift a little bit today and talk about business and talk about business and aviation. So a lot of times we've had people on this program, on this broadcast, where we've done interviews with CEOs and with leaders in aviation, and we've talked about different strategies and methods for recovery in aviation. And today I want to talk to you about a couple of things, all right? We have absolutely focused on recovery in aviation from a few standpoints, all right? First of all, is that I believe that enthusiasm is one of the greatest contributors to success of any business. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know that you have to be enthusiastic in order for your business to be able to be successful. And for any business, enthusiasm just breeds additional enthusiasm. Leaders that are enthusiastic cause people around them to be enthusiastic. And the end result is that people are super engaged, and they're engaged in the business, and you get more out of the business when people love what they're doing and they're engaged and they're enthusiastic. And so one of the things that we say that's the pillars of success in any business is belief, all right? And whether it applies to digital transformation or whether it applies to aviation and the success of a business as an entrepreneur, enthusiasm and belief in what you're doing is the core foundation for success. And the rest of the things, of course, build upon that. But without belief and enthusiasm, there's just no way that you're going to have a successful business, all right? Next, we talk about business, and we talk about how processes are important in business, and how having processes which are consistent with what it is that you're trying to accomplish, okay? And so if you're an MRO and if you're accomplishing maintenance, then of course your business processes need to be efficient and be effective and safe in accomplishing maintenance. You need to be effective, efficient, and safe in accomplishing maintenance in your business, all right? And so, business processes that are aligned with the objectives of the business are extremely important. And, over time, many times our businesses become a little bit top heavy, and they become a little bit inefficient. And we constantly need to be reevaluating our businesses to ensure that our processes are the most efficient processes possible. And as maybe new aircraft are being added, or maybe as new maintenance practices are being added, we need to continue to reevaluate our business processes to ensure that they're efficient. Now, when we're looking at economic downturns, we're looking at times right now where things are difficult, having efficient business processes is like critical, absolutely critical, and even more so in these kind of times, because our businesses need to be more efficient than what they were in the past. Hey, listen, this is a live broadcast, and I have the ability, I have to turn my camera sideways here, but I have the ability to watch your comments here. And I see I have people online really from all over the world right now, and I want to thank you for doing that. Thanks, everybody, for being online. And it's great when we can have these broadcasts and we join in. And I wanted to just ask you if you could just put in the comments here, give me a shout out, tell me where you are, where you're watching the broadcast from, and we'll get into some more things here today. And hey, if you would share this broadcast for me so that other people can actually see it, so we can get benefit from it. But hey, I am trying to spread enthusiasm. My business partner and I, Larry, we work really hard to spread enthusiasm by moving forward in aviation. Looks like I had a little bit of a disruption again in my
6 right, clear for the option, 536, Pop uniform. Yeah, that'd be great. Left downwind for 24 left, 536, Pop uniform.
Landing clearance canceled. 6 Pop in uniform. Entering the downwind.
Uh, 210. 24 left, clear for the option, 536, Pop uniform.
Hey, everybody. Looks like we had a little bit of a technical glitch again. And, that's what happens when I'm trying to do stuff out in the field and do it online. And I'll just tell you, wrap up the broadcast here today and tell you that I want to invite you to my upcoming conference that we're having. It's a virtual conference that we're having. And you are going to have the ability to be able to interact with probably 50 different speakers and 10,000 participants in this virtual conference. And over a 3-day period, we're going to run this conference for 24 hours a day. And you are going to have an opportunity to be able to get ideas and solutions and ways that your business is going to be able to be successful in these difficult times. And the main focus is recovery in aviation. And really, it's for us to work together with great enthusiasm in the aviation industry, and for us to be able to move forward further and faster than we ever have before. And with my obsession, and with my passion for aviation, I'm going to work to be able to help people to be successful in aviation. Even if I have technical problems in the field and I'm having difficulties, I'm trying to make this interesting for you. And I don't want to just be in my office and be doing a broadcast for you somewhere. We are going to continue to bring to you interesting speakers, and we're going to continue to bring you interesting information and CEOs and leaders and people that have been successful in industry for many, many years, because what we want to do is we want for aviation to be successful and to be able to recover. And so together, we're going to work toward recovery in aviation. And I want you to join me in the conversation and for us to work together to be able to create recovery in aviation. And I want to thank you for joining me today, even though we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. And I'm asking you to jump in and be part of recovery in aviation. And I'll just sign off by saying fair winds and following seas. And we'll try to make sure that the next broadcast doesn't have technical difficulties. All right. And that's just what happens when I try to do stuff in the field. All right. So thanks for joining me today and have a great day. Bye.